On air. Only on Radyo-Katipunan 87.9 FM. Radyo-Katipunan 87.9 FM. Rejoice, refresh, renew, and reflect. Join us for an hour of music that uplifts the soul. Listen to your favorite Jesuit music ministry artists. This is JMM Radio. Get your day's dose of inspirational music. Tune in to JMM Radio every Wednesday from 1 to 2 p.m. Only here on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Tara na't simulan ng inyong umaga sa mga magagandang refleksyon tungkol sa ating buhay at pananampalataya. Kasama sina Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle ng Manila, Father J. Boy Gonzales at Father Nono Alfonso ng Kapisanan ni Jesus, Father Cali Llamado ng Manila Cathedral, at Binibining Risa Singson Kaupeng ng Light of Jesus Community dito sa Kapit Pandasal sa Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. The Jesuit Hour. Get to know the Jesuits. Discover their spirituality, their history, their ministries. The Jesuit Hour. Anything Jesuit, everything Jesuit. The Jesuit Hour.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ear.
Do you long for a good spiritual read? Or for literature that not only feeds the mind, but nourishes the soul as well? Do you want to be inspired, feel positive and hopeful about life? Then read The Windhover, the official magazine of the Jesuits in the Philippines. Written by Jesuits and their lay partners, The Windhover features real stories about the Jesuits and their various ministries. Be inspired. Be blessed. Subscribe to The Windhover. For inquiries, call the Philippine Jesuit Aid Association at telephone numbers 426-6001, locals 4890 or 4892. Once again, Philippine Jesuit Aid Association, telephone numbers 426-6001, locals 4890 or 4892.
Kaibigan, alam mo na ba kung anong dapat gawin upang iwasan at sugpuin ang COVID-19? Iwasang hawakan ang bibig, mata at ilong. Laging maghugas ng kamay gamit ang sabon at tubig sa loob ng 20 segundo. Linisin ang mga bagay na palaging hinahawakan. Kumain ng balanse at masusustansyang pagkain. Matulog ng sapat, huwag magpupuyat. Stay home. Sa wastong pag-iingat, ang virus hindi kakalat. COVID-19, kayang-kaya nating tapusin.
We are now on YouTube. Watch all of our live episodes plus exclusive content in our channel at Radyo Katipunan FM. Don't forget to click subscribe and hit the bell to get the latest updates. Radyo Katipunan. News, insights, inspiration. Radyo Katipunan. Down from the hill and down to the world. Radyo Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle.
Jescom Music Ministry, your daily dose of inspiration. Follow jescom.ph on Spotify and Jescom Music on YouTube. We are also on iTunes and Deezer.
Palalimin ang kamalayan sa mga isyong napapanahon. Makisangkot at makiisa kasama ang simbahang lingkod ng bayan. Ang Social-Political Apostolate ng Kapisanan ni Jesus. Ito ang Kwentuhang Bayan mula alas 11 ng umaga tuwing Biyernes dito lang sa Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Dahil naniniwala kami na posible ang isang mas mabuting lipunan at maaari itong simulan sa isang kwentuhan.
Get your daily dose of inspiration through our music. Follow jescom.ph on Spotify and Jescom Music in YouTube.
Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. sometimes feel confused or lost in the complications and complexities of life? Do you feel drained, listless, or exhausted from the daily burdens and responsibilities? Why not seek our campus ministers on air every Tuesday from 2 to 3 in the afternoon? Listen to our counselors from the Loyola School's Campus Ministry Office as they ground our lives in our faith, in our school's spiritual tradition. Campus Ministers on Air. Be guided, be inspired, be blessed. Listen to our Campus Ministers on Air. Radyo-Katipunan 87.9 FM. We are now on YouTube. Watch all of our live episodes plus exclusive content in our channel at radyo-katipunan FM. Don't forget to click subscribe and hit the bell to get the latest updates.
Radyo, 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 katipunan, radyo, katipunan, radyo, katipunan, radyo, 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 katipunan, radyo, katipunan. Voice of the Eagle kami, di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay atin sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng eskwela. Radyo, radyo, katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, katipunero sugo. Todo sa kayod, tunong at tulong. Lipad na Blue Eagle, galing hiding at tigil.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
If it's entertainment you crave,
Catch us on New Wave
surfing through the latest on our shores.
every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m.
See you there! Hello everyone, good afternoon. It's your midweek gang who's always ready to hang, coming at you live through Radio Katipunan 87.9 FM via Zoom. I'm Max.
And I'm Austin, and this is New Wave.
Happy Black Widow Day to all of the Marvel watchers. I'm
Oh,
so
yeah.
excited to see it.
Oh, not for us. Ours is still tomorrow because
Right, I
we're
forgot.
in the Asia, yeah.
Time zones
But-
are a thing.
But still, Loki, lately has been really good. So I really
That's
like
right.
what Marvel's been doing lately. Yeah. How do you find
Yeah.
Loki?
I love Loki so far. Okay, not gonna lie, the last episode had me a bit more confused than the usual, but I really like how they're expanding the universe with it because like now there's the TVA and I don't want to say too much about it. I don't want to spoil, but I
Yeah.
really like where they're going, especially with that post-credit scene that I knew nothing about.
Yeah. Wait, so when you were watching it, you watched it and you just didn't know about what happened to Loki.
That's very off-brand for me. I was expecting them to explain it next week, as in this week, like in the episode today. That's when I thought we'd get answers. And then all of a sudden, everyone was like, oh, what do you think about the post-credit scene? And I was just like, post-credit scene?
Yeah, like when I was watching it for some reason, like okay, usually I would always skip it, but for some odd reason, like I don't know, I just decided to stay and watch, and thank God, like I did get to see that. And I was like, because I really like watching the comics. Like if you see behind this wall, it's like all comics, and yeah, so it was really fun seeing all the different types of Lokis and stuff. I really hope Black Widow like turns out the way Loki's been doing, because like I really like the results that Loki's been giving. Yeah.
Yeah, but Black Widow's a movie, so of course we're going to expect it to be a bit different. I think I'm expecting it to be more like a phase 1 Marvel movie than what they've been doing with the TV shows. But I'm really excited to see it because I feel like it's been a long time coming. I mean, we've been waiting for it for like more than a year, and a lot of people have been wanting to see a Black Widow movie since like phase 1 or phase 2.
Yeah.
So,
Actually, no, more than a
excited.
year. I feel like they've really been looking for it since phase 1. Phase 2, I think maybe. They've been like, how come all the original Avengers, they all got their own movies? Okay, maybe except for Hawkeye, but like
That's
she's like she didn't get it. And I feel like she was introduced way earlier. Like Iron Man 2, she was introduced. So yeah, credit where credit is due. Like she deserves like what's this? She deserves a movie soon.
Yeah, it's about time. Well, anyway, congrats on fixing your shelf and getting rid of that rag that was there last time. That was like the first thing I noticed when you moved back.
Oh yeah, what's this? Yeah, last week really got to me. Like I really should have cleaned up my entire room. Yeah.
Okay, well, anyway, without
Yours
further
is still
ado,
the same though.
what can I do about the bear? It lives there.
Yeah, that's true.
The bear lives there. Okay, anyway. So today we are joined by a man of many talents. He's both our local find and our main guest for the day. So a songwriter friend of mine from Room for Cello who I met about a year ago in a songwriting competition and has since then placed in more songwriting competitions. He's also a mechanical engineer and entrepreneur. Please welcome Daryl Cielo. Hi, Daryl.
Hello. Kumusta? Ano balita?
Well, actually, we should ask the same thing to you. How are you and what have you been up to recently?
Marami at saka konti at the same time. Kumbaga, ganun eh. Down and then some highlights and then down. You know how it is with the lockdown.
That's
So what are
very
some
songwriter
highlights?
of you. That's very
Yeah.
songwriter of you, actually. Like, a lot, but nothing at the same time.
Poetic. Dapat poetic ang sagot lagi.
Of course.
What highlights have you been having for during this quarantine?
Different learnings. Like, marami akong inaaral, maraming bagong stuff that I'm trying to venture into. So, yeah, the past few months parang lumipas lang. But at the same time, I actually been learning many different things. Like, for example, I'm starting into stocks, stock market, stuff like that. So, yeah, it's yun yung mga highs. And then some days, tulog lang. Ganun.
Felt
But a
that.
lot of people are actually going into cryptocurrency. I noticed that, and also like stocks lately because it's always at home. Like, have you also been getting into like cryptocurrency or mostly like PSE lang and like stocks? Yeah.
Eventually, hopefully crypto, pero mas pihikan ako sa crypto kasi the very nature of crypto, as amazing as it is maraming yung mining, di ba? It's not environmentally friendly, and I'm a sucker for sustainability, all that. So at siguro pag nakahanap ako ng crypto na hindi masyadong detrimental sa environment, like yung mga ASIC miners nila. Yeah, eventually.
Wow, okay. I'm learning. I did not know that about cryptocurrency.
Yes.
Same, I did not. I mean, I found out that it takes a lot of energy, but I actually didn't like piece together the whole environmental aspect of it. But yeah, it's very interesting to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Well, speaking about ventures, so we usually open our shows up with our local find segment where we talk about products, organizations, or other new businesses that are all from the Philippines. So one project you, at least to my knowledge, started during the pandemic is an e-marketplace and food delivery service called Basky. So can you tell us a little bit more about how Basky started and where you got the idea?
Yes, Basky. So Basky is actually parang derivative of Basket. So it's like a food delivery platform and marketplace, pero dedicated only or solely for mga nag-home based online selling. So parang I saw kasi late last year when I got back in the Philippines, mga December, na ang dami-daming nag-home based online sellers ng food. Like even my sister, she buys from different home-based online sellers every week, sometimes 3 times a week, mga cookies, kape. So as a personal experience as a customer, I realized, I realized na parang bakit walang marketplace for them, unlike like yung mga Lazada, similar to Food Panda. So I decided na right then and there na habang nagkakape ako, iniinom ko yung kape na pinadeliver ate ko. Parang light bulb moment na why not make one. But I know that the market here is very competitive. So I'm trying to come up with, or I've come up with different features that will set it apart from other home food delivery platforms. Yung mga like I will be introducing the first ever interactive online food bazaar. On how that works, tune in. And then there will be like a heavy shot on CSR, like a feed it forward theme. You know, you may have heard of that, pero I will be incorporating that in the platform as well. So yeah.
Well, you actually mentioned something about having an interactive online food bazaar. Yeah, it seems really interesting. Like I've not really heard about that. Like, how would you say like you're gonna go about making this interactive online food bazaar?
So basically para siyang may konting integration ng RPG, you know how RPG games work. So in a way, the idea is when you go into the platform, you will see other people who are there as well, and where they are buying, where they are flocking into. So parang yung behavior ng mga tao makikita mo. It's not so in a way parang nasi-simulate niya yung physical bazaar feel wherein you see other people in that same area. So parang ganon, parang may layout and stuff, and then may mga avatars.
Oh, okay. So like when you shop, there will be like will there be like just your name, or it's gonna be like an avatar talaga of like you or something?
Yeah, looking at the poster, that's actually the avatar. That's Basky. So meron siyang backpack na baskets. Parang mga ganyan. So like a cute little things flocking around. Parang ganon.
That's really cool. But is this like the first? Did you get this idea from like somewhere else, or was this just something you like thought of from like the start?
Light bulb moment siya. So yeah, it's from God basically. Holy Spirit. So light bulb
so
moment
the entire
siya.
concept, yeah.
Yeah, it's a new thing, and I'm actually working on patenting it. I forgot the derivative of variation of a patent, not exactly a patent, like a model something. Pero yeah, I'll be applying a patent for that just to
get the rights, yeah.
Yeah, protect it hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
well, yeah, it sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, it sounds like a really good idea, and that's really cute. Like I feel like that's one of the closest ways we can simulate shopping, like real shopping, and not just online add to cart, but you actually see an avatar. That's a really cute idea.
Yeah.
It actually reminds me of the Oasis in Ready.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Hopefully no, naka-VR na tayo while doing shopping.
Sana one day. That'd be so nice.
And eventually I will be integrating gamification features like because the points I'm calling the points you earn point decals, like pandesal, so point decals. So eventually there will be gamification features like booths where when you play a game, you earn point decals, and when you accumulate those point decals, you can earn yourself a voucher or a coupon code, or you do na papasok yung feed it forward scheme na you could buy something for someone who's hungry, parang ganun. So it's actually early stages pa, so I may be spilling out a lot.
And it already seems really interesting.
Yeah.
Even in the early stages, yeah.
There's definitely a lot to look forward to, and I'm just going to expose our engineer James right now. He said he's very excited to look for mango grahams on Basky tonight. So
Yeah, definitely magkakaroon. We will have that. Offer that.
There you go, James. So a while ago, you said that Basky takes pride in promoting homemade food. So how can interested sellers start selling on Basky? Like, how does it work? Is there an application process or how?
Yes, we have an application process. Actually, we have onboarded some na for our launch. Just go to basky.ph actually. Yeah, or message us on Facebook. We're live on Facebook. So basky.ph. There's a there's an application form. They're very short. We will be the one to contact you. And then we will be onboarding you. We have a process. So yeah.
Will
But
they
so
get their own Basky avatars?
Ano yun? I didn't hear it.
Will they be getting their own little Basky avatars?
Sa ngayon, ano pa lang, uniform lang yung basket, like pare-pares. Eventually, lalagyan natin ng yung parang pwede mo lagyan ng hat, i-customize mo, lagyan mo ng glasses.
Ooh. So what's this? How exactly are you planning to? So right now in what's this Basky, you have this whole setup. So you'd say the whole thing is already kind of setting up. It's already set up. You just have to you're just trying to improve on the model you have.
Yeah. We are currently in the development phase. So every day actually I'm meeting with the web developers, with my developers. So we're looking at launching this July. Medyo na-delay na siya ng konti, dapat around June. So we're looking at launching this July, and hopefully let's pray na ma-launch natin siya, because gusto ko kasi siyang, the way I envision it is yung lahat ng home-based sellers is parang doon na magbenta, so that it's for it to be a community of home-based sellers and food lovers.
So like how would you say like you'd plan to get that longevity or try to get that final vision? Like how would you say like you're gonna go about doing this business?
Well, there is what we call a lean system, like a lean startup. So that's why when I launch, it's gonna be like small population, for example. And very few sellers lang muna. Like we're not gonna go big time. The idea is launch small and then see what can be refined from there, and then apply it, and then see the perception or the response of the market, and then apply, refine until you get the sweet spot we call the product market fit. And when we do that, then hopefully then we're gonna capitalize on that. So figuratively, I'm putting my money on the interactive bazaar and the feed it forward scheme. Hopefully it makes a difference in the buying behaviors of people.
Hopefully. But I think it's a good idea, and it's actually something everyone can look forward to. So please drop Basky social so that people know where to find you.
Yes.
Oh yeah, just at basky.ph lang lahat. So Facebook and Instagram, Twitter as well, pero Twitter hindi po masyadong active. Basky.ph. Same with the website. So type nyo lang
Is this all in
basky.ph.
Metro Manila, or does it go?
Metro Manila muna. Yeah, Metro Manila muna for now.
Okay. Yeah.
May mga nag-submit na nga na from like South, Laguna, ganun. And I respectfully declined. Sabi ko, we're in Metro Manila muna, ganyan. Mm-hmm. So hopefully within the year, makapag-expand.
Oh, guys, check it out. Just try to get him there so you can go to the South na.
As if you're from the South.
Yeah, yun nga. Ironic. Taga-South ako, pero I cannot accept sellers from my domain.
Because every time I talk to Maxine from the South, she's always saying that there's nothing there, or like there's always no.
There's nothing there. Grabe naman yung
I don't say that there's nothing there. You're like propagating fake news. I never said that. I just said
guys,
there are things
we're just
I
on
miss
air
up north.
now. We're just on air now. No.
My goodness. Austin spreads fake news, you guys. Well, anyways. Anyway. So Daryl, let's move on and let's talk about your time in New Zealand, because I remember when we met, you were all the way in New Zealand, and based on my understanding, you had been there for a while to study. So before we go into specifics, how different was life in New Zealand as compared to here?
Better in every aspect. It's good. It's really good. Like
also,
well, sabihin natin na culture shock ako when I got back and experienced how quarantine here works, because they're very, so ang ganda yung control, ang ganda yung implementation, ang ganda yung management. Like although medyo mabilis sila mag-lockdown, like 1 case, 2 cases, boom, lockdown agad bukas, 3 days, 5 days, 7 days. Na ano kagad, nako-contain agad. And yung ayuda very, like we even tried yung mga housemates ko, we tried calling a private ayuda. Like nag-call lang kami. We gave our address, and then may dumating agad like basket. Saka yung ayuda nila social. Like mga higanting KitKat, mga chocolates, mga Whittakers, mga milk. ang sabi social. Kasi wala silang
Wow.
rice, di ba? Like, hindi sila nag-rice masyado. So, yeah. And I think what I love most is I never had to pay in cash. Like, everything was everything was online, like card. So, yeah. And then, yeah, malamig, paminsan, seasonal. So, the
Wow.
coldness is not as amusing as I thought it would be. So, minsan parang ang hirap din niya.
Why you didn't have like extra like clothes or something? Or like you don't like putting on too many layers of clothes or
I do, pero mahirap siya pag sa gabi and pag maliligo. Like, heater is life. I would open my heater the whole night habang natutulog ako. Heater tas electric fan. Kasi parang the white noise medyo nasanay na tayo sa electric fan.
That's true. So you choose Philippines over New Zealand?
No, I would have stayed there, I think, but I was under a contract. So I was under scholarship kasi. And the scholarship stipulates na after I finish, I should go back to the Philippines and stay there for at least 2 years. Parang use what you've learned to serve your country.
Well, that's a really nice contract though. Like
so wala akong no choice.
Well, I thought that was a nice sentiment though to serve your country. But like you've experienced COVID in like New Zealand and in the Philippines, or like early days, Ren, or you see how we handled what's this quarantine, and you see how New Zealand handles quarantine. What do you say is like biggest difference that you'd say?
Well, to be fair, New Zealand kasi is the population is like 5 million lang. And in Auckland, where I stayed, around 1.5 million. So it's not as dense, diba? It's not as overpopulated in the Philippines. So to be fair, yeah, I think it's easier to manage. Pero very masunurin ng mga tao talaga. And sa social distancing, like when we go out, tapos may makakasalubong, talagang 2 meters, lilihis ng daan. Talagang lalayo talaga. And yeah, lahat talaga naka-face mask. Yung face shield, wala. Actually, sa Pilipinas ko lang nakita yung face shield. Nagulat ako na, kailangan pa ng face shield. So, yeah, yung population plays a huge factor kasi. Dito kasi sa Pilipinas, parang ang dami-dami talaga di ba? Minsan, lalabas kang di mo, parang sobrang daming tao, nagkukumpulan. So, parang hindi mo rin maiwasan. Yeah.
That's true.
For real though. Like, I felt that when you said like, in the Philippines, like, this was the only place where we needed face shields. Like, wow. Okay, anyway. So, Daryl, New Zealand is also Middle Earth. And as someone who has been outside of the Philippines, we are living vicariously through you. As Lord of the Rings fans, it's mandatory to bring up, did you get to go to the places Lord of the Rings? Did you see it? And how was it?
Hobbiton. You're
Hobbiton,
talking about
yes.
Hobbiton. Yeah. Isa yun sa mga una ko napuntahan. I think
Of
August 2019, we went there. It's really beautiful. It's really good. Sobrang ganda. The only bad thing or the only thing that hindi ko nagustuhan is ang daming tao, like pila. So, yung pictures is limited yung time. Like, syempre, picture sa mga holes, mga hobbit holes. Kailangan na move forward. The next group is arriving. So, yun lang hindi ko nagustuhan. But, ang ganda niya. Like, super. Para siyang hindi ka makapaniwala na it's a movie set. It's like hills. Movie set siya eh. And then afterwards, merong yung ginger beer, which for me who doesn't drink, sobrang nasarapan ako sa kanya. Hindi naman siya parang alcoholic, pero ang sarap talaga, ginger beer.
Yeah. Parang like, it's like craft beer ba?
Yeah. And actually after nga, nahilig na ako sa ginger beer. Like, I would always buy that. Kasi parang siyang feeling mo nag-beer ka, feeling mo astig ka, pero hindi siya beer talaga.
That's cool. But as a movie, like, how much of it is CGI and how much of it is, you'd say, the real thing? Since you've seen, like, the real thing. Yeah.
I think the set, the Hobbiton set, talagang, it's organic, yung talagang real thing. And I heard nga na, especially the first trilogy ng Lord of the Rings, what they did was, the hobbits, di ba? Like, they're small people. Mm-hmm. Is parang inaanggilan na lang nila yung shooting. Like, mas malalayo yung parang perspective type, mas malalayo yung mga hobbits to make them appear smaller. And even yung mga journey scenes, they use New Zealand sceneries as well. Which napuntahan ko rin yung iba sa South Island. Grabe talaga ang ganda. It's like when you're looking at it, parang movie, parang ka nakaharap sa movie scene na vertical wall of mountain, parang gano'n. Ice, glaciers.
Oh,
Wala
that's
lang,
my bucket
nakakamiss.
list for 2022.
What
Bucket
were
list.
those
Yeah.
places?
Mount Cook, definitely Mount Cook. Yung isa na sikat, parang i-hike mo siya ng 1.5 hours to get to the glacier lake. And as you hike, the 1.5 hours, yung nakikita mo is parang, wow. Parang talagang mountains na ang gaganda talaga.
Wow.
Yeah, and then there was this Castle Hill, like yung mga rocks, yung malayo pala nakikita mo na rocks. And the best thing about South Island is when you drive, makikita mo yung glacier glazed mountain tops sa view. Yeah.
Is that what do you miss most about New Zealand? Would you say it's that or
Miss most. For me personally, it's the people. Yeah. Yeah, when I went there kasi like during my last months, I got close to a lot of people sa church ko. So yeah, parang sobrang close na kami and then I had to leave. So, yeah,
How do
nakakamiss
you
yun.
describe like the culture of like New Zealand?
Actually sa culture hindi ako masyado naka-immerse kasi yung mga kasama ko laging puro Pinoy din eh. Mga Pinoy community.
Okay, so
ang
lahat
daming
kayo.
Pinoy eh.
Okay.
Oo, ang dami rin Pinoy eh. Culture-wise, tama, once I did homestay, what you call a homestay. Homestay is like, you stay in the home of a family. So, parang dorm ganun, pero ina-adopt ka ng family, parang ganun. So, nagpaparent sila ng room. So, I stayed with a Kiwi family. So, it's a native Kiwi family. Kiwi yung tawag, Kiwi is like Pinoy for New Zealanders. So, they're called Kiwi. So, these Kiwi family na they had 2 kids na eventually after a few days nakalaro ko na agad. So I stayed there for 3 weeks and ang saya. Like lagi silang pupunta sa kwarto ko, they're barging in while I'm busy. Ganun.
But it's easy naman to assimilate with like New Zealand. Parang not much culture gap.
Yeah, I think they're very friendly eh. Saka ang daming international people like everywhere. Lahat Japanese, Korean, Chinese, lahat Indian sobrang dami. So everywhere you look, iba-iba makikita mo.
Hearing you talk about it now, it sounds so nice to live there and to just be there, especially like us as Lord of the Rings fans. Like, wow, must be so nice to be in New Zealand. But can I ask you, why New Zealand? Like, did you get a choice in where to study or was it the assigned country?
Personal choice lang. Gusto ko lang talaga mag-New Zealand nun. Sabi ko, parang ganda dito Apply nga ako ng mga scholarship, ganun. And I did. So, first try actually, I didn't got in. Like 2017. It was the second try that I got in. A different scholarship naman by their Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade. Tapos yun, hindi rin ako makapaniwala because I'm not like an academic person. Like, di ako yung pala-aral, scholar, ganun. Parang trip-trip lang in a way. So, driven by nagmahal na saktan, New Zealand, parang ganon. So, yun, New Zealand talaga yung gusto ko kasi nga parang I'm fan of nature and serene places.
Well, you're not smart, but you got into mechanical engineering, which is like so math and academics. But like, why did you choose that? Like,
Alin?
Mechanical engineering.
Mechanical engineering, actually, it's my father who wanted that eh. When I was in college.
Okay. So if you're not, let's say hindi ka mechanical engineering, what do you want? What would you have wanted to do?
Well, actually okay naman ako sa mechanical engineering. I like it. I like it a lot, but I don't think I love it because I think I'm not the best at it. Like parang okay naman ako, like kung nag-aaral ng maigi, minsan pumapasa, minsan nag-excel. But syempre, if I were to choose, music talaga yung gusto ko. But even high school kasi I knew na it would be a risky move to pursue music lang. So, I mean, others would do it and I highly respect people na nagpo-full-time music. Minsan nga nainggit ako na sana nagganon din ako. But for me, in my case, what I did was sabi ko, if I were to pursue music, dapat meron akong parang profession where I will get my funds from. So, after graduated, I worked. So, yeah, nakabili ako ng mga gamit, mga gitara, pang recording stuff. And it worked well naman. Like while working, I was able to pursue music on the side then.
All right. So of course, there were adjustments when you moved to New Zealand back when you started studying. So how was it like adjusting to the different culture and I guess understanding their accents because we know that it's very different there.
Actually, hanggang ngayon, hindi ko pa rin, parang nalolost pa rin ako sa accent nila. Pag nagsasalita sila. Kasi yung ano nila, parang may pagka-Bisaya, yung E. One time, I had this interview, like nag-apply ako ng part-time job and then she asked me, the woman asked me, like the manager, how would you handle the stress of the work? I was like, pardon? The stress. Could you repeat that? The stress. Oh, you mean the stress of the work? So sobrang ano ako, parang hanggang ngayon nahihirapan pa rin ako. Yeah, stress. Yung parang ganun sila. So hanggang ngayon nahihirapan pa rin ako actually.
Yes, but a while ago, one thing you said was something you miss the most are the people. So can you tell us a little bit more about like how the people there are, like in general? Like, are they nice, friendly, warm?
Do they have their own language? Sorry, I've never actually been to New Zealand. Do they have their own language?
Yes, Maori. Maori is the language, the parang very native language nila, Maori. But English din ang parang mother language now there. The people, like I said earlier, puro Pinoy kasi yung mga kasama ko. So definitely very warm. And it took a while for me, but after a few months, yeah, I got really close with those. You find your tribe. I found my tribe there, and wala, masaya. Of course, we eat after service, and then sila rin yung mga nakasama ko nag-travel like South Island. I even tried yung Zorb. Do you know Zorb? Parang yun yung last bucket list ko. Yeah, yung giant parang bubble. You stay inside and then tumbling down a hill.
Wow. How was that?
Amazing. Parang sabi ko hindi ako pwede umalis nang di ko try yun, yung Zorb. So, dapat nga itatry ko rin yung luge. Yung luge is parang go-kart na
downhill, right?
Yeah, downhill. Yeah, yung paikot. Parang gano'n. Yung parang almost nakahiga ka. I wasn't able to try that kasi on that day, malakas ang ulan. So na-try ko na lang yung Zorb. So, parang sila yung kasama ko noon. Sabi ko, oy, tara, Zorb tayo. Hindi ako pwede umuwi hindi ako nag-Zorb. And yun, nakakatuwa. They would file leave, sick leave para to organize and plan the trip. So
that's fun. Well, since this is an info session about New Zealand, did you try any of the food? How was it like? And what was your favorite, if there is one?
Food kasi is more like when you go there, international. Like for example, if you go to a Japanese restaurant, yung mga nag-serve sa'yo, Japanese din. If you go to a Korean restaurant, mga nag-serve sa'yo, Korean din. So personally, yung naging favorite ko sa lahat is Thai food. Ang sarap talaga ng Thai food. Like, parang yun yung pinakamalasa na na-try ko. Actually nga, hindi ko natikman yung Maori native food. Parang, I don't know, potato something. Hindi ko natikman. Parang, kasi pag nandun ako, syempre, student life. Like, ka lang lagi, dumpling. Ang joke namin doon, dumpling is like the national food. Kasi yun yung pinakamura. So dumplings lang. So medyo weird, no? Mag-lunch ka dumpling. Tayo, sanay tayo na walang rice. Ay, sanay tayo na may rice. Pero doon, dapat okay na sa'yo yun, dumpling, 6 pieces. Okay na yun, lunch. Or chicken and fries, ganun.
I'm getting hungry, but all right.
What about the lamb? Diba sa New Zealand, it's puro malamb? Or no, not really?
There are lambs, but I don't like lamb. Hindi ko type yung lasa. May aftertaste siya eh. May aftertaste siya eh.
Yeah, it's medyo like strong, diba?
Yeah, parang nagtry ako ng lamb sandwich. Tapos, parang first bite, hindi ko type.
Oh, yeah. I think a lot of people put parang mint jelly. I don't know if they do that in New Zealand, pero yeah. Just for the taste, para the taste doesn't smell as bad, yeah.
Beef saka salmon ang mas salmon, yeah. Lagi ako dyan every week.
But like in New Zealand, there wasn't a lot. Do they have a lot of like home dishes na aside from like maybe that potato thing that you tried? That you didn't get to try.
Meron sila yung uso sa kanila yung parang sausage rolls. You may have seen that parang ganun na sausage rolls. No?
As in sausage rolls like in bread?
parang ganon, tapos naka-chop-chop siya. So parang pika-pika. Yeah, mahilig sila sa ganon, pika-pika. Like when we have orientations or conferences, tapos sasabihin na free food, free lunch. Siyempre, tayo mga Pinoy, sanay tayo sa catering, akala natin ganon. But doon, yung free lunch is parang mga pika-pika. So, kuha ka lang ng kuha, lagi ka sa plato. Yun, busog ka na nun.
Gosh, this is really making me hungry. But anyway, how long were you in New Zealand? Like, I'm guessing a year and a half to 2 years.
Yes, a year and a half. Technically, a year and a half. But I went back in the Philippines nung after ng first semester because pumunta ako dun July to December. And interestingly, yung summer vacation nila is 4 months ng school. So, sobrang haba, di ba? So, yun yung isa sa mga best moment of my life kasi tanda ko, umuwi ako ng Pilipinas, December, up to February. So, 3 months, I had absolutely nothing to do, but at the same time, meron akong stipend na pumapasok. So, parang, sarap ng buhay ko nun.
All right. So now moving back to how you were back here, you were on a roll last year with songwriting contest. So let's move backwards and let's start with Himig Handog, where you got 5th best song for Kulang ang Mundo. And I know that you described this as a grand profession of love wherein it could be both painful and magical. So spill the tea. What was your inspiration?
Inspiration. Actually, I don't know if you know, pero last year kasi, during the lockdowns in New Zealand, parang personal passion project ako na a song a day. Na parang I would write as verse to chorus song every day for 30 days. So parang ganun yung parang personal passion project ko to cope na lang with the lockdown. And Kulang ang Mundo was actually, I wrote that at day 19, I think. So verse chorus. And I saw the potential lang din. Inspiration, like a person, wala naman. Walang person as an inspiration. It's more like an idea. So, ang inspiration ko nun is a Peter Pan. So, kaya parang yung lyrics niya is sa likod ng mga tala, parang doon tayo tutungo, parang yung flying through the night to a different world in a magical place. Parang ganun yung concept. So, in a way din, parang protest against COVID, na parang lockdown na, hindi. Gawa ko ng song na parang lilipad tayo. So yun. And nirecord ko rin siya virtually with my friend Emil. And nirecord namin siya, inarrange namin siya, batuhan kami ng files. And then I was able to submit it sa Himig Handog. And ayun nga, sobrang gulat ko kasi matagal na rin naman ako sumasali. And you know how competitive that competition is, like nationwide. So sobrang gulat ko talaga as in nakapasok. Yeah, and then the rest is history. Tagal din ng contest na yun eh. Like 5 months yata yung contest na yun eh. Yung Himig Handog 2020, nag-conclude 2021.
Yes. But that's interesting how you were writing the song in New Zealand and then you were passing the file back and forth, New Zealand, Philippines. How was that like? Like bringing your song to life from across oceans? I'm sure that's like very different from writing face to face, unlike what you've done before.
Actually, it's very easy kapag yung ka-collaborate mo is madaling katrabaho. Like in my case, Emil, which is our band's keyboardist, like he's better than me musically, definitely. Kasi especially he's a music production siya, student from Binild ba Emil? I'm sorry. Kasi music production student siya. And he's better than me in music. But at the same time, sobrang humble niya that yung mga gusto ko, parang yung mga dinedirect ko is ginagawa niya on how the song would go. Parang siya yung nagiging machinery. Sabi ko, lagay mo na mga ganito. And then lalagay niya. And then paparevise ko. Lalagay niya, paparevise ko. I think sobrang daming revisions noon pero hindi siya na bad trip. So I think kaya naging sobrang smooth nung process namin. And yung singer ko is yung si Brennan Espartines, a friend of mine din, na very good singer. Pinakanta ko sa kanya. I gave him a demo. Tapos he sent me back a track of his vocals. And then yun, batuhan kami ni Emil, mix, and then we sent it.
Well, it sounds like you guys really get along. Like, I mean, it seems like you guys really mesh together well. And yeah, I was wondering about like, since you guys meshed together well, how was it from your perspective about Himig Handog? Like, how did it feel like to get chosen? Like, was this your like first time?
Yes. May testimony nga ako dyan eh. Kasi parang isa yun sa mga biggest dream ko, like as a songwriter. Sabi ko, Lord, sana makapasok ko sa Himigandog. So for the longest time, parang pinag-pray ko siya. And then, there was another competition kasi before Himigandog na, if you know Philpop, Maxine definitely knows Philpop. Nauna yung deadline ng submission. In Philpop, I submitted 3 songs, including Kulang ang Mundo. And there's this one song that I personally thought was way better. So, hindi pa namin na-release. Pero, my money was on that. Sabi ko, malamang makakapasok to sa Philpop. What happened was, hindi nakapasok yung 3 songs ko sa Philpop. So, I was really frustrated. And then sa Himigandog, 2 songs lang eh. So, Kulang ang Mundo, another song. And I was not able to submit the best song. So, parang yung chances ko, personally, on my perspective, parang, malabo na to. Parang gano'n, malabo na makapasok dito. So, yeah, pinag-play ko siya ng masinsinan. And then at that night, nakakatawa, na we were waiting, like participants were waiting for the announcement. Normally kasi, kunyari, i-announce yung finalist tonight. From the previous years, ang ginagawa ng Himigandog, from what we know is, kinokontak na nila beforehand yung mga songwriters. Parang hindi na surprise. In a way, kinontak na a few days before, hi, nakapasok ka. Tapos i-announce na lang formally, ganun. So, sabi ko, hindi naman ako kinontak, announcement na mamaya. So, definitely, wala na to. Parang wala na talagang hope. Very small hope na lang. So, nag-pray ako nun. And at that night, sobrang sinurrender ko kay God yun. Sabi ko, Lord, nilalet go ko na. Maybe this is too much of a worldly desire for me. So, okay na. Masaya na ako. I'm happy, Lord, na nakagawa ko ng magandang songs, na-produce ko to. Imagine, lockdown with my friend, batuhan kami ng fast. I'm happy, Lord, sabi ko. So, yeah, parang that moment talaga yung nilet go ko siya after several years of trying, of submitting. Nilet go ko siya nung gabing yun. And I was at peace. So, tulog ako, ansaya ko. Embracing the fact na hindi ako pasok. Imagine that. And then I woke up at 5 a.m. Kasi may lakad ako. 5 a.m. May notification in Facebook was blew up like around 20 notifs, which was uncharacteristic at the time kasi kung wala naman akong pinopost na anything, wala namang notification dapat. At that moment, I knew. Alam ko na. In-assume ko na parang hindi medyo obvious na why I would have that blow up of notifications. And yun, I dumiretso ako sa pag-pray and Lord, grabe ka naman Lord, parang gano'n. Nilaggo ko na nga tapos saka mabili. So yun, when I checked, yun nga, hindi na ako makapaniwala. Parang very surreal na every moment na hindi ako makapaniwala. Hindi na talaga ako makapaniwala. So I tried my best talaga to use that competition as a platform then to, in a way, to share that testimony. Actually, yung Kulang ang Mundo, share ko na lang din since I'm sharing it na, it's actually more of it can be interpreted as God's love din talaga. God's love for us. So if you listen to it, check the lyrics, it's like God singing that to us. It's actually inspired partly by Ephesians 3. Yeah.
Wow. That's really interesting. But you know what you said about like how this is the one you kind of let go of and you kind of just accepted it and you were at peace with it. I kind of felt that because, you know, sometimes in life, like the things that you super think like, oh, this is going to be a win. This is going to be it. This is going to be the song. And then it ends up not being the song. And then the one that you don't expect or the one that you're kind of just more, not naman passive about, but more relaxed about is the one that ends up bringing you to places like life. I found that so interesting.
Yeah, diba? Parang
right? The one that you surrender.
Mysterious ways, yeah.
Exactly. And I know that this song even ended up on TV. Like, I think it was on MMK, if I'm not mistaken. So how did that feel? Like, you were like, wow, this is the song that I was just more relaxed about. And it's the one that really got far.
Yeah, gulat ako doon. Sobrang gulat ako doon. Tapos, akala ko, kasi may nagsabi sa akin, like, someone was watching MMK and then nag-play na yung tune. So, chinek ko yung MMK ng gabing din yun. And while we were watching, tuwan-tuwa na ako na naririnig ko yung tune na. Yung tune lang. Like yung -1. Naririnig ko sa background. Tuwan-tuwa na ako. And then the last scene ng MMK is parang na naglalakad si Charlie Dizon. So, parang flowers, petals. Like the song played from verse to chorus to last chorus. Na parang ang lakas. Talagang OST. So grabe, parang kilig na kilig ako. Parang doon lang yata kinilig ulit talaga ng sobra. Parang sobrang kilig na kilig ako noon. Parang grabe. Tapos chinat ko yung sa secretariat ng Himigan doon. Parang Abi, grabe, paano nangyari to? Yes, ano ganun. Pinitch lang daw nila, they're trying. So, yeah, nakakatuwa talaga. Even si Maymay nga parang she loved it so much, Maymay Entrata. Like, she would share it in her stories, in her interviews. So, parang kinakanta niya, which is nakakagulat and nakaka-flatter.
Wait, so did I get that right? You also were surprised that it was on MMK, like you weren't told in advance?
I was told in advance, pero hindi ko nakita. Like, biniber ako. Daryl, play yung song sa MMK. Hindi ko nakita. So, growth ako. Tapos parang sabi na ako ng secretary, di ba may message kita kanina? Message ba ako? Hindi ko nakita. So, yun. Buti nga sarap kaya magulat.
Oh, okay. So let's talk a bit about your songwriting process. Does your process change for different reasons? Like, does it change for when you're writing like for yourself, or when you're writing for contests, or with other people?
Yeah, I think I write best talaga pag may inspiration. Like, not in a cheesy way, more like anything, any inspiration. Pwedeng cheesy, pwedeng may contest, pwedeng may kailangan ako submitan, pwedeng jingle. Pag may reason ako to write, I can write. Pero pag wala, kunyari trip lang, nagkikitara ko, minsan wala talagang pumapasok. As in, mental block talaga. So, yung song din na ginawa ko na 30 days, parang in a way, hindi yung challenge ko sa sarili ko kasi parang sabi ko hindi ko kaya to, but I would still do it. So yun, I think that was the reason itself na I was able to do it.
But yeah, you've been talking about like how you would have sometimes writer's block, and we've been in this pandemic for like baka almost 2 years now, maybe 1.5. So is it easier for you because of the pandemic to write, or harder?
Di pa ako nakapagsulat ulit since
okay, so
this pandemic.
What happened to a song a day, Daryl? Gosh.
Wala. Yun nga yung weird na parang, actually, the other day, I was trying to write something. Na-inspire kasi ako ng sobra sa Beatles, sa Yesterday na movie. So sabi ko, parang gawa kaya ako ng ganun, medyo Beatles-ish na music. Yung parang medyo kakaiba, tapos malalim yung lyrics. Sa lyrics ako lagi na in my process, I start with music kasi. I hum the melody, and then finally, lalapatan ko ng lyrics. And super hard niya. Kasi sometimes, when I hum, meron na akong parang gibberish na words like, mahal ko. Tapos, pag nilapatan ko ng lyrics, kailangan sumakto siya, kailangan shumut siya. So, sobrang hirap niya. So, yeah, ngayon may ginagawa ako, hindi ko pa rin siya malagyan ng lyrics, hindi ko alam kung bakit. So, yeah, baka, ano pa ako ngayon? Wala pa.
Well, we're rooting for you. So, out of the songs you've written, which you can tell us about, which one do you connect to the most, or which one, apart from what we just talked about, has a special place in your heart?
Special place in my heart.
Like, is it your first song ever, or is there one memorable writing experience that just made the song more special to you? Because, sometimes when you write a song, like, of course, you're happy with the outcome, but also the experience of writing it kind of adds to how much you love it or how attached you are to it.
Yeah. Siguro, actually parang wala masyadong nag-stick. Siguro kulang ang mundo na yun. Like, with how, given na ganun yung narating ng song, yun na yung parang pinaka nag-impact sa akin. So, yeah, definitely kulang ang mundo na yun. Sa Room for Cielo songs, on the other hand, siguro favorite ko personally yung song namin na Bukas Makalawa, because it was directly based from my experience about breakup song. And so parang every word doon is parang translated from real life. So yeah, and when we play it, parang tutuwa yung mga tao, especially dun sa last part, may parang konting plot twist kasi sa lyrics. And, natutuwa ako na nakaka-relate sila in that way sa personal experience ko. And alam mo naman mga tao, di ba, pag sa gigs, especially the audience, basta mga about heartbreak, baliw na baliw, parang tonto. Pag mga ganung yung topic.
Of course. Sometimes when the songs are about that topic, like, everyone's also interested about who was it about or what led to this song. And because of that, like, how do you choose what to share in a song? Because of course, when you're making songs, when you're telling stories, writing lyrics, especially when they're so personal, you're sharing a lot of yourself. And some people feel like there comes a point where that there's too much sharing or not enough. So how do you find that balance, or how do you choose what to share? What's okay with sharing with the world? What's okay with putting in your music?
Yeah, actually, wala akong reservations doon. Like I just kasi not I think what people should realize is that I mean for me personally as a writer is that hindi naman lahat ng sinusulat ko is like a 100% factual, 100% based from experience. Madalas diyan, just like how they do in movies, diba? Madalas diyan is parang exaggerate mo. You will add more flavorful elements to it para mas maging makulay yung song. And that's the way I do it then. Like for example, in my song Takbo, which is nagamit din actually as a OST sa isang K-drama sa GMA. Very ano siya, parang Profession of Love din siya. Parang hayaan something. Nalimutan ang lyrics na to. Parang sa iyong nakaraan, ako ang lunas at daan upang iyong mabalikan ang muli pang magmahal. Mga ganong, wow, ang lalim na lyrics. Medyo based siya in real life, pero hindi pa naman ganun ka-deep talaga yung nararamdaman ko nung ano na yan. More like inspiration lang. You have this inspiration and then medyo exaggerate mo ng konti to make it more colorful sa tao. So, and when people ask, sometimes hindi ko na rin sinasagot. Like, alam mo yun, ayaw mo silang isipin ano gusto nilang isipin. Diba? Maganda nga yung may konting mystery.
Yeah, let them wonder. It's subject to interpretation.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, what inspires you for you to write usually your songs? You have a lot of songs about parang heartbreak or love. So what inspires you the most, you'd say?
Inspires me the most, I think for me, it's the very art of writing. Na parang I've never found something as raw and as fulfilling as writing songs. I think even si Maxine makaka-relate, diba? Diba Maxine, parang grabe yung sense of fulfillment when you write songs. Like creating something from nothing. Na parang yun lang eh. That in itself, iba na yung feeling. So, tapos, like ano siya, unlimited space for growth. Na parang you will always find someone who's written something great. Na parang, ang galing. Like, kunyari, for example, when I was tinatry kong lagyan ng magagandang chord progressions yung song ko, makukulay na chords. And then I would meet Davey Langit na parang, what? Ang galing. Diba? So, in a way, there's still space for growth. I would personally make him my goal or my enemy, my arch nemesis, parang healthy enemy. So, yung ganong klaseng growth, space for growth, napakalaki. And then you would see in YouTube, what? Ang ganda, ganyan, ang galing, ang ganda ng version. So I think that's the beautiful thing about songwriting din talaga.
That's right. Especially like us, we're so young. So there are so many people we can look up to and like you said, draw inspiration from. Like the Beatles are from generations ago. But as songwriters, we still appreciate them and how they did things. Especially because they did a lot of things differently back then.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like the style, how they tell the stories. It was very different from how we tell stories today also.
Yeah. And yung kanila is very timeless. Yun yung sobrang nakaka-elibs. Kaya ako very old soul ako eh. Like yung mga hilig kong songs is more like 70s, 80s talaga, 90s. Kasi iba talaga eh. Iba yung, kumbaga, fine wine, parang gano'n. Iba sila tumira ng kanta. Iba talaga yung lyrics, iba yung chords. Sabi ko, grabe. So in a way, I try to, ganun yung try kong genre na i-pursue. Parang old soul, pop-ish.
Pero like, what inspiration would you say na you had from the 60s or 70s or even 80s na like you want to emulate their type of music? Like aside from the Beatles, like do you have any other like inspiration na you really like look up to?
Yeah, actually mas local ako nung simula. Like when I was starting, Ryan Cayabyab yung pinakatinignan ko na on how he would create songs na very makamasa, but pag binuting-ting mo, pero binulat-lat mo and then in-inspect mo, very technical niya. Yung chord progression niya, yung lyrics niya, very, parang grabe. Pero on the outside, parang, it's just a beautiful song. It's just a good song. So, ganun yung parang gusto ko, na pag pinarating mo sa tao, wow, ang ganda. Pero pag binutingting mo na, parang, grabe, ang komplikado pala. Yeah, and then yung mga Gary Granada, and then yung mga Apo, mga freestyle, yun yung mga foundations namin, even sa band. Yeah.
Okay, so with what you've been saying about songwriting, like of course we've been talking about how in a song it's important to like put a lot of heart into it, but at the same time, the sound is very different now. So even if you're inspired by people from generations before, you also kind of have to take into account what people like now for a song to click also. So where do you find that balance? Like that balance between what you want to do with the song and what people may want to hear?
Yeah, actually, I'm still on the journey. I'm still on the journey of finding that balance. Mahirap talaga siya, honestly. Kasi
For sure.
musicians, definitely, madalas talaga, sakit ng musician na I will release songs that I like, songs na gusto ko. I'll arrange it the way I want it, write it the way I want it. And maraming ganun, majority ng musicians ganun actually. And mahirap yung tatanggalin mo yon to please the audience. Pero mahirap siya. Like, maapektuhan yung very craft mo, maapektuhan. So, I think the sweet spot talaga is when you find something you love, yung style na gusto mo, and find people who love that as well. Para, alam mo yun, wala ka nang baguhin. Although niche market lang siya, pero nangyayari siya eh. Like, for example, it's like John Mayer, di ba? How bluesy he is on his day and age. He still found the following. Although, syempre, he's also like a hot guy and all. Pero may ganon. It happens. It still happens. Na you just need to find something. Kasi I think when you keep adjusting, for the market, parang as a musician, you will lose yourself, your identity. And parang, for example, for me, yun yung binigay ni God sa'yo eh. The very skill, even your very genre, even your very style, yun yung gusto mo eh, yun yung hinahanap ng puso mo. So, yeah, I think, tuloy mo lang, don't try to make too many adjustments, too many deviations, too many pivots. And eventually, definitely, you'll find people who will like it for what it is.
Yes, it's also nice that God has a very good place in your songwriting process and in your journey. Like that's something I find interesting, and I think a lot of people need to see more now.
Yeah, salamat. Yeah, it's I think it's in everything naman. Like sabi nga, parang for me, for example, I'm not a songwriter who happens to be a Christian, but more like I'm a Christian who happens to be this kinds of stuff. So for me, yeah, God comes first. Jesus comes first in everything. And lahat naman to galing sa kanya, whether songwriting, whether cooking, or even the master's degree and stuff, the business. Yeah, we are just vessels.
I was wondering though, like, since you guys talk about like staying true and also to not lose yourself to what people want, do you ever feel yourself na parang sometimes you do that na you don't know you're doing it?
Come again? What
Na
do you
parang like di ba you talk about like how people should always like stay, like musicians should always stay with their soul and not always change. Do you find yourself na parang baka there were moments na you felt na you were changing a bit, and like how did you try to like get past that or find yourself again?
Oh yeah, definitely. Kasi especially when you're working with the label, mangyayari yan. Because the label is all about the market, diba? All about marketing, all about selling the song. So sometimes they would ask the songs to be changed. They would reject songs kasi normal sa label when you're signed under a label. For example, for us, we were signed under a label for 2 years, and at first mangyayari kasi niyan parang, oh, wow, I love your song. I love this song. I love Hindi Ko Alam, ganun. Okay, let's set a meeting, and then we would pitch our other songs. So I would pitch my other songs. And mangyayari na they wouldn't want the other songs. So yung pipiliin nila, kailangan pang baguhin. So yung mga ganung case. And yeah, we came to a point na in a way we were trying to explore different styles. Maririnig rin siya actually sa mga songs namin eh. Medyo nagbabago ng konti. But one thing, there are non-negotiables eh. You have to set non-negotiables. So in my case, may mga sinat ako non-negotiables. Like for example, I'm very used to writing songs na may konting complexities lang. Parang yun yung style ko. So parang ayoko i-compromise yun. Like for example, ayokong madalas pag sa label or sa producer, they want to simplify it, para mas makamasa. Which is, I have nothing against, but for me personally, ayokong gawin yun, ayoko siya compromise. Kasi pag ginawa mo yun, like kunyari, sinimplify yung chords ko, yung structure, ganon. It's parang hindi na akin yun. That's not my song anymore. So, yeah, yun yung case ko. Setting non-negotiables lang. Okay lang na medyo baguhin natin yung genre. Okay, medyo gawin natin city pop ang dating. Walang problema. But yeah, pagdating dito, no. Parang no touch. Off limits to. Ganun.
Of course. Because of course you still want to see like what you wrote in there, like in the final cut.
Yeah. Minsan nga parang ang layo na rin eh. Like even for example, yung mga songs namin na na-release, pag narinig yung demo ko na nirecord ko sa room, parang ang layo na. But nandun pa rin yung parang pinaka-core, which is what matters for me.
Yeah, of course, because the song will really grow. Like it'll grow with you.
Yeah. And you as a musician kasi you have to find the right balance of compromising. Kasi pag musician ka na ayaw mo nang kino-compromise, may mga ganun na parang, no, I want my vision exactly as it is to be executed exactly as it is. Walang babaguhin. Arrangements, instrumentals, gusto ko ganun. The way I want it. May mga ganun. So, mahirap yun. Medyo mahirap kung ganun. Like, dapat collaborative tayo. Especially with a lot of talented producers naman talaga out there. They know what they're doing, di ba? When they say na, tanggalin mo yan, no? Bawasan natin yung bass dyan or ganun-ganun. You at the very least dapat i-consider mo rin yun as a musician.
Of course.
But have you had a lot of like pushback with studios before or heated?
Yeah, definitely. Hindi naman sobrang heated pero may mga pinapatanggal tapos ayoko tanggalin and then back and forth kami, nakaupo lang. Hindi, okay, gusto ko talaga yan eh. Tapos sasabihin niya, hindi bro ano talaga eh. Hindi. Tapos, alam mo, parang nag-aanuhan kami na ayokong magpatinag na gusto niyang tanggalin yung part na yun. Sabihin ko, hindi na-justify ko kung bakit siya nandun. Tapos sasabihin niya, hindi, pag sa radyo kasi, yun yung mga factors na kinoconsider mga producers eh. Pag sa radyo kasi, kailangan ganyan. Pag sa narinig ng tao, mahirap pag may ganyan. So yeah, medyo heated sometimes, pero hindi naman umabot na walk out or nagsigawan. I think exaggerated rin sa mga movies. Parang you can be civilized naman and everything.
Yeah, of course. Because at the end of the day, everyone involved in a song wants it to work. Everyone wants it to... Everyone wants it to win. So the reason why you're butting heads is because you want the song to click. You want it to work. And of course, you're all offering different perspectives. So it's natural.
Yeah,
Anyway,
normal naman
right?
siya.
Well, we're almost out of time. So let's ask you, what's next for Daryl Cielo? Any Facebook projects that you're planning to have again?
Yeah, right now I'm just uploading videos. So I'm doing some minimal vlogging then. Like I have a YouTube channel, so you can check it out, Vlog for Cielo. So I'm doing some videos sometimes, cover videos pag natitripan ko, sometimes with collaborations. And definitely check out Room for Cielo. So our handles is @Room4Cielo sa mga Facebook, IG, Twitter @Room4Cielo, even on Spotify and YouTube, follow us. And Basky as well, basky.ph. Definitely check it out. So, pwede ba including ba dito yung shout out?
Of course,
Yes,
go
if you'd
ahead.
like to,
Anything
go.
you want to say.
So, shout out na lang sa aking mga friends na nanonood man o hindi. No, friends sa aking mga squad, UOA squad, sa bandmates ko, sa Room for Cielo. Sa aking mother, I don't know, I think she's watching, she's outside. Sa nanay ko, sa ate ko, yeah. Shout out kay Peter John Balyares. Nanonood ka pala, bro. Shout out kay Maria Denise Vergel de Dios Jimenez de Vera. So, haba na, no? So, yun, shout out sa mga lahat ng mga nagpupunyagi at nag-strive ngayong pandemic. So, kaya natin to.
Shout out to our friend Emil Bagtas also.
Oo nga, kahit iniwan mo ko dito,
supposed to be
Emil.
here.
Yes.
We'll have him next time.
Yeah. Dapat siya rin solo, Dapat solo rin siya. Kasi dapat dalawa kami.
No, we'll invite you. You could greet him too.
Emil, I see you.
And since you mentioned your band Room for Cielo, a lot of Ateneans are fans of their songs. Like I have a
Oh,
lot of
talaga?
friends. Like even before I met you, I already knew about the band because I would hear from a lot of my classmates. So good job, and we're looking forward to seeing more of you in the future.
Yeah, actually pala, siguro I'll just say na rin na yung currently kasi kaming Room for Shallow is medyo, hindi naman medyo, pero talagang nakahiatus kami ngayon. Yeah. So, alam mo na, pandemic, kanya-kanya munang priorities. Pero definitely, babalik kami, like sa scene and all. Ngayon lang talaga medyo, kami, time to take care of ourselves and our families. Pero hindi na kami away. Like, we're in good terms. Babalik kami, definitely. Nag-store na ako ng songs na for pitching the future.
For the great reunion. Well, we're looking forward to that, and we're hoping to see you guys together also.
Hopefully. Yeah, and hopefully we can get you guys on our show again next time, maybe with a meal.
Yeah. Sana nga live na no? Do you guys do live before?
We usually do live.
Yeah.
Like it's majority of the time we're doing this live. But do you mean in the studio?
In the studio.
We used to, like,
before
I think,
pandemic.
before the pandemic, the norm was doing it in the booth. And oh my gosh, I super miss that. It's so different also. I'm sure you can relate to this, but in terms of performing, like the energy is so different when you're looking at people through the screen and face to face.
Yes.
Yeah.
Walang latency pag face to face.
Yeah. But before we say goodbye to Daryl, we just want to tell our listeners that this has been New Wave. And we love to thank James for handling our broadcast, and of course to Sir Justin for always having our backs.
Thank you also to Teo for helping us out this week. And of course, thank you once again to our audience for joining us today. And we look forward to seeing you all next time. So join us for our next episode on July 14, where we will be talking to a member of Words Anonymous and a very dear Ateneo professor, Mr. Serge Gabriel.
Don't miss out. Follow us on Instagram at newwave.rk to stay updated. Catch us on the replay on Radio Katipunan 87.9's FM Facebook page, YouTube, and Twitter Live. All go by at Radio Katipunan.
But most of all, thank you to our pal, Daryl Cielo, for joining us today for this fun conversation. I learned a lot about business from earlier.
Yeah, thank you din. I think ang dami ko rin sinabi, no?
Yeah, we learned a lot today.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. Yeah, much appreciated, especially in this time of isolation.
Thank you. We're all just trying to keep each other company.
Yeah.
So, once again, speaking of company, this has been your midweek gang who's always ready to hang. I'm Max.
And I'm Austin, and this has been
New Wave.
New Wave.
We'll see you all next week. Bye.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
If it's entertainment you crave,
catch us on New Wave.
surfing through the latest on our shores.
Every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m.
See you there.
Radyo Katipunan. News, insights, inspiration. Radyo Katipunan. Down from the hill and down to the world. Radyo Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle.